Well, this second week back to school, how are you coping as a family? Parenting expert Michelle McVittie has a few tips if you're feeling defeated and overwhelmed. Thanks for joining us, Michelle. Now, how are parents feeling in this pandemic, back to work, back to school era?
There's a lot of unknowns and a lot of stressors. We've been put into situations that we're not used to around our children for longer, and we get stressed out. And my generation and generations before, we didn't really deal with our emotions. We just kind of suck it up, move on, and we have a lot of emotion. And we're expecting our children to deal with our emotion, but we're having a hard time too. So learning how to acknowledge our emotion and what to do with our emotion and take care of our kids and take care of our partner and get to work, it's a lot.
So if we're feeling stressed, what are the physical signs of some of these emotions? How can you tell if you're feeling that way, if you're used to bottling it up?
Yes, exactly. Well, it's that uncomfortable feeling. So it can be thoughts. I can't do this. This is too hard. There's a whole stress cycle. Then it's like the body language is telling you, like, I get stomach aches. I can't sleep well. I'm very emotional. Aches, body aches, and then we have the behavior. So it all just kind of feeds into each other. And then our head pops off because our child doesn't want to drink out of the purple cup. Just like for the child, it's not about the purple cup. And for us, we have to pull back the layers to say, something's going on, and this is getting in the way of life for me.
Right, so it's sort of like a trigger.
Yeah, it could be a trigger. It could be that we're looking at something that is not that big of a deal, but our reaction, it does not match what the issue is. So, and it's an accumulation. So when every day you're feeling down, when every day you're having a hard time dealing with your stress and understanding what's going on and just feeling like we're just kind of spinning our wheels, you know, we need to reach out. We need to talk to our doctor and say, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and talk to your partner, sit down with your kids, because we tend to do it all and our perspective is off because we're in a snow globe of stress.
So just kind of take a step back for a moment and acknowledge your emotions. Now, what about children? If they're maybe having some difficulties coping, or you maybe notice that they're a little bit stressed out, what's the best way to approach that situation?
I think an acknowledgement is the first thing, and I think that's the tough part about being a parent, is that when we're struggling with our emotion and then we have a child that's melting down because they don't want to go to school, it's like, come on, just go to school. It's fun. You've been at home for a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
We have a hard time relating to them. But meet them where they're at, acknowledge their experience and validate that, instead of trying to fix it. Because sometimes our child's emotion is an inconvenience for us, and I don't mean that as a judgment, but we are stressed and we just want the child to move forward, be happy. And acknowledging their emotion helps them calm down. And then later on, we can do things like work on strategies to be like, what happens when I get to a 3 out of 5? I can do some deep breathing. I can notice 5 things in nature, that kind of stuff.
So what are some things you can do as a family when everyone's sort of feeling this stress?
Well, I think having a routine of doing what feels best for you. So maybe an hour before bedtime, everybody turns off electronics. Everybody does a quiet activity. And we don't have to do it together, because maybe I like to read and maybe my child wants to do a puzzle or play with some Lego. But it's finding those things that are refueling you. What refuels you? Because self-care doesn't make your stressor go away, but it helps you handle stress when it comes up. The next piece is dealing with the stressor. This could be like a 10-hour workshop.
Of course, of course. Well, thanks so much, Michelle. You've really helped, I think, give some parents some tips as they're going back to school and back to work.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Happy to be.
Thanks for joining us.